What's happening, my friends? What's goes on? What is goes on? welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. As always, my friends, thank you so much for taking 1 hour of your time to tune into the hottest show out there, the Arrington Gavin Show. That's right, I said the hottest, the show that everyone is talking about. The Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your guy, Arrington Gavin, your friend, your homie, coming to you to bring some great conversations. Man, we got a lot of great stories, great headlines to chop it up with you all. Look at here. Comedian, host of the hit HBO show Real Time with Bill Maher, and also host of the podcast Club Random, Bill Maher. He's facing some backlash, mostly from the left, after having a dinner with the one and only Donald J. Trump, 47th President Donald Trump, along with a few other of his friends, including Kid Rock. And I'm forgetting it was another, who else was involved in that picture? I believe Dana White was in that photo as well. Bill Maher's been receiving some backlash because Bill Maher has been, like many of folks, I wouldn't really consider him left. Well, he is left leaning. He will always tell you he's liberal, but he's been one of the big critics of Donald Trump, right? And so he had accepted an invitation from the White House, from Trump, to have dinner. And so a lot of folks are saying, why are you normalizing this guy? What are you doing? What's the matter with you? And so I wanted to give my take on it because I look at it differently. So we're going to have some time to talk about that in the program. Also, R&B star from the I think it was Ronnie Bell from oh Lord have mercy, y'all about to ban me for real. No, New Edition. Him and his wife of 20 years, by the way, just announced that they will be expecting their first child. And so we're going to talk about that and more. What else do we have going on in the show today for you all? Let's see here. We have, oh yes, I think I didn't have time to talk about this on the last go round. Linda McMahon, former founder of the World Wrestling Entertainment. She's also the secretary of Department of Education. She has been making headlines because she went viral for calling what was it, AI A1. Look, like I said, I think she was hungry. I think she just been craving steak, and she said, hey, I need to eat. Hey, what is it again? A1. That's what it is. A1. Not AI. A1. All right. So we're gonna talk about that too later on in the program. We got a lot of stories to share with you all here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Again, my friends, multiple ways you can find us, tune into the program. For those who happen to be new to the Arrington Gavin Show, we simply just have great conversation here, man. I keep y'all up to speed with what's happening in our world, national news, local, all right, news that's going on through our social media and our digital space, right? Because I'm a millennial, right? And we love to get our news a lot in social media and online. Now, look, not saying that's the only way you should get the news. You should do your research on variety, whether if it's reading the paper, reading the fine print on articles, going in person when it comes to some of these local events. Going to the sources is what I'm trying to tell you. You need to go to the source in order to receive this information. But look, as always, I'm here to keep it real with you, have some fun, but again, inform you all. There's multiple ways you can tune into the program. Look, we drop episodes Monday through Fridays, okay? Monday through Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, Rumble, as well as wherever you listen to your podcast. You can also listen to us on our radio affiliates like WBOK 1230 a.m. in the New Orleans area, Monday through Fridays, 8 p.m. Central Time, as well as WDJY 99.1 FM in the Metro Atlanta area, Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So there's multiple ways you can tune into us. You can also watch us on Goatverse TV Network. Do me a favor if you haven't. Download the Goatverse TV app today. It's free. It's available on the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire. So there's multiple ways you can look. There's so many options you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. There's no excuse to say I missed the last episode. Well, look, you can watch on demand. It's up there. Well, we're gonna find you. We everywhere, baby. We are everywhere. We continue to grow. As I mentioned, too, I'm just so excited to continue to grow in front of you all. The news about us heading to WBOK 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about. Who that? That's right. Who that nation out there. I'm so honored to be a part of the oldest and longest running Black-owned radio station in the country. So please be sure to support and tune in to the program. If you haven't been in the New Orleans area, tune into the Arrington Gavin Show, as well as other great programs here on WBOK. And look, my friends, so much stuff I want to talk about. But before I move forward, look, I want to also share our social media platforms. Instagram, Blue Sky, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Substack, all at the Arrington Gavin Show. So again, it's the Arrington Gavin Show on Instagram, Blue Sky, X, as well as Twitter, okay? Or X, formerly known as Twitter, and Substack. That's what I meant. I was really hard on that Twitter. I said that pretty hard. My bad, y'all. My bad. Let's move it on with our fun fact of the day. You know, a tradition we love to do here on the program, just to kind of get the juices flowing before we get going in our topics. So today's fun fact is: did you know that walking can be as effective as running? Now, for all you runners out there, you probably go look at me like saying, now, Arrington, do not share that. That's fake news. Don't share that false information. Look, it says here that brisk walks can offer similar heart health benefits to running if done consistently. So once again, y'all, the key word is what? Consistently. Don't just say, oh, I went on a walk last week and that was my cardio. That and I'm using that terminology. I'm using that that accent because I feel as though men out there, especially you older cats and even younger cats, because the younger cats, you want to be the beef heads. You want to be like, let me look just muscular. I could care less about doing cardio. I don't want to do no cardio. I want to do muscle. Let me just lift. Look, you got to have your time to strengthen that heart. You know what I mean? Strengthen those lungs. Do some cardio. Look, I'm no expert because my black ass need to do some cardio myself. The way the stomach is looking, the way this round area, this belt area of mine, yeah, I gotta do something. Because see, when I was in college, boy, you couldn't tell me nothing. But once I entered the workforce, once there's some such thing as time management I continue to wrestle with, there's another thing called great food that's bad for you that exists, fast food. Oh my goodness. Burgers, what? I'm a burger fanatic. Pizzas, Chinese food, man. I'm that person where, because of my schedule, I'm always on the move. And don't get me wrong, my wife is a wonderful cook. But I know for me, I can eat all the great food but it's a matter on getting the body moving. Exercising is key, because y'all should not want to try to erase years off your life. No, we want to keep those years going. We got more life to live. We got more stuff to give. You know what I mean? We want to keep that momentum going. So you have to take care of your temple externally as well as internally. So again, if you are not big on running, go on a walk. Make sure it's consistent. Mornings, evenings, when the weather's nice, go with a friend. Just start a walking group. There's so many ways you can do so. So I hope that was beneficial and helpful for you all. Let's go ahead and shout out some of our proud supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show, like our friends over at Rugged Evolution Beard Care. That's right, my friends, our good friends over at Rugged Evolution Beard Care. So let's get it going with some of Shout out some of our proud supporter right here. Real men know greatness isn't manufactured, it's grown. Introducing Rugged Evolution Beard Care, the all natural men's grooming brand designed to fuel your evolution. From over 17 bold scented beard oils and balms to invigorating beard washes, body washes, facial cleansers, exfoliating soaps, and premium grooming accessories. Rugged Evolution keeps your beard and your game strong. Every product is crafted with nature's best ingredients because your beard deserves more than chemicals. It deserves strength, style, and smooth confidence. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Rugged is the new smooth. Find your scent. Fuel your evolution by visiting ruggedevo.com today. Again, my friends, I want to shout out Rugged Evolution Beard Care for being a proud supporter of the Arrington Gavin Show. Look, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We have a lot more show for you here on the Arrington Gavin Show. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
What's up, y'all? Welcome now.
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new Gold Verse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we...
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your guy, Arrington Gavin. Look, let's get it going with our first headline of the day. Look, R&B star, let me correct myself. I said Ronnie Bell. I'm sorry, it's Ricky Bell of New Edition and Bell Biv DeVoe. He and his wife, Amy Correa Bell, had announced that they are expecting their first child. Check this out, after 20 years of marriage, okay? After 20 years of marriage. Let me go ahead and pull up this graphic for those who happen to be watching us on YouTube. Give me 1 second as I pull up this graphic for you all. And you know what is so amazing is the fact that again, in my mind, I'm like, okay, 20 years, like you're more than ready, but obviously, hey, they're successful. They have the finance to help raise a child, but I understand, it's not easy with the process, right? There's some folks that have issues when it's trying to have children and things of that nature. Now, look, I'm no parent. I'm a dog parent. Okay, I have one dog now. I have 2 nieces and 1 nephew. Totally different compared to actually becoming parents. But when I read the story, I'm like, this is wonderful. So let me go ahead and read you this article and contents reported by Vibe magazine. It says here that in a pair of heartwarming posts, the duo shared their joy with the world. Reservation for 3, wrote by the 57-year-old singer in his caption, paired his caption with a cinematic trio of images showing the couple laughing and strolling hand in hand down and Busting Street and cozying up in a vintage convertible. Amy, who's 42 years old, also showed off her growing baby bump on IG with the caption "Past, Present, and the Future." She posed confidently in a crop top from the driver's seat of the same classic car. Let's see here. Says here in the comment section, obviously quickly became a cascade of well wishes. Congratulations from their loved ones, musical peers, and fans alike. Obviously, fellow New Edition and BBD bandmates Ronnie DeVoe wrote, "I'm absolutely overwhelmed with the joy knowing you and Ricky will finally will be amazing parents. Thank you for letting the cat out the bag because I was about to burst trying to keep it a secret. Love y'all to life." That is so wonderful. Now I'm reading here on how, because obviously I know how, and she's not, 42. I think the average, I'm just guessing here, usually the average female would prefer to say, okay, I'm gonna stop, or wait till I'm in my mid 30s, maybe early 30s, right? But nowadays we see ladies, they're giving birth 40s, 50s. Like, Bridget Nielsen, the actress Bridget Nielsen, she gave birth at like 58. I ain't saying that's for everybody, but it's just it blows your mind what different ways and how they can. Now, says here that they let's see here. They, if I can pull it up here. Okay, so announcing the news with a vintage theme maternity show. Okay, I thought that they had announced, but no, I think it's wonderful. But I think the big question is, why now? Why at not really just for her, because they're both going to become older. They're old parents technically, right? Because she's 42, he's 57, so by the time, and we see a pattern of celebrity, especially. I'm not saying he's in comparison with like a Pacino or De Niro, but we see folks like becoming parents at an older age. Not the norm. Again, I go back to the age. People are in their late 20s, early 30s. That's always a great age to become parents, right? You wanna grow up still being active and wanting to still be there to play with your grandkids, right? Or just to really enjoy your and I'll be honest, I've spoken about it before here on the show at the time when Al Pacino and De Niro announced they were becoming dads again. Like, you in your 80s, early 80s, and you having a toddler. You late 70s and you having a toddler. All I'm saying is, you are your child's father, grandfather, great grandfather, maybe even great, all at once, really, all at once. But again, y'all, who am I to judge? Happiness is happiness. I'm happy for Ricky Bell and his lovely wife. Again, hey, look, love is in the air. Love is in the air. Timing is everything. No one should feel rushed. But I want to say, like, damn, after 20 years, look, my wife and I, we've been together for 8 years, close to 8 years, and married over about a little over 2 years. And so people still ask us, we're still young. I'm 30, she's 28. Yeah, she's 28. They ask all the time, they're like, "Oh, when you go?" I'm like, mind your business. Because y'all, I think for me, I don't know what the future holds. That's for one thing. I never predict the future. I can work hard to say I would love for this, how our future would want to look. This is the way I'm, putting these seeds and planting this now. But when it comes to the, for children, man, that's a huge commitment, right? That's a huge commitment. My wife and I were very installed in our work. We have a dog who's a responsibility, of his own. You know what I mean? Because we live in a world. There is such thing as pets for kids. All right. Dogs have health insurance. They got doctor's appointments. All right. They got clothes, babysitters, this and that. Like, it is a huge priority. You got to feed him. walk through. It's a lot. It's a lot. But what's y'all take, man? What's y'all take for those who are in the nervous realm of wanting to become parents? What is some advice that you can give for those parents for those who are parents, grandparents out there? How was it like for you when you first became a parent, right? And if so, what will be your first question to ask Ricky Bell? Like, bruh, after 20 years of marriage, 20 years. Now, we don't know as far as how long they have been trying, because, and again, I'm reading this. Yeah, it doesn't explain anything about them trying nonstop, having issues, this and then the other. What it does share is the fact that, which I think is, I still think it's a slight excuse, but hey, he said he tours year round, which he does. I know they had New Edition had a residency in Vegas, so they had that going on, and yeah, so I get it. It's like when do you have the time to really? But you always have the time, have a little time. Gotta have that moment with your significant other, if you know what I mean. But no, again, I want to start the show off with those great news. Ricky Bell of New Edition and Bell Biv DeVoe, him and his lovely wife of 20 years, announcing they are going to be welcoming their first child, which is wonderful. Just beauty, just so beautiful, isn't it? It's wonderful. All right, let's go ahead, as I digress from that, let's move it on to another story. I don't know if y'all have checked out the Blue Origin space mission, the space mission that a lot of folks are just not happy about. They're actually they've been receiving backlash for quite a minute, really, since the whole thing has started. Gayle King, who was in this, and let me actually explain a little bit of this before I show. Well, actually, let me see if I can pull up a graphic for you guys, too, for those who are watching. Look, bear with me, because when you are the Renaissance, you are the the person that's in charge of all the controls. Give me one second. Here we go. So let's see here. The Blue Origin, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' space tourism company, completed their latest space mission recently with a 6-member all-female crew that included pop singer Katy Perry, CBS Mornings host Gayle King, Lauren Sanchez, who's Jeff Bezos' fiance, as well as author, TV host, turned philanthropist. That's Lauren Sanchez. There was another. I'm sorry. Excuse me, activist Amanda Nguyen, ex-NASA engineer Aisha Bowe, and film producer Carrion Flynn were blasted into space for less than, check this out, 66 miles in less than 11 minutes. The whole thing took less than 11 minutes. 66 miles up space. That's how fast they were going. Now, a lot of folks are a bit frustrated because, again, they're like, wait a minute. That's it? Now, I'll be honest. If I was one of them, first of all, I would not want to go to space. I don't mind. I love flying, but I don't like heights. Let me tell you something. And maybe it's no comparison, but I remember when I was a kid, there was a ride in Epcot over in Disney. I don't know, is that Disneyland, Disney World over in Orlando Studios, or in Orlando, Florida, excuse me. And this ride, it was a space ride too. It kind of gives you that theme, that feeling of, oh, this is what occurs when you're in a space mission, and oh, mayday, and they got the gravity really going against you. And they had 2 different levels. When I tell you I did the lowest level, I was finished with that ride and I was feeling so sick. I'm like, I can't do this. I want to go now. I remember I went with my best friend. It was one of my best friends' and my parents, and like, see, my dad and I, we were like, no, we good. I feel like, nope, can't do it. My mom and my best friend was like, oh, shoot, we going on this next one. I'm like, y'all is tripping. So just that feeling as a little kid, I'm like, oh, astronaut, no, that ain't for me. NASA, no, sorry. Next occupation, it's not gonna be my lane. So that being said, I will not be participating in going out of space. I don't care how much money I have. I don't care how much money they will pay me to do that. No. But it was very shocking when you heard folks like Gayle King. Gayle King seems like the most, anxious, and not saying she looks like a scared person, but Gayle brings off auntie vibes, all right? And for those who are listening, and look, y'all at WBOK 1230 AM, it's predominantly black. Look, we are a black-owned radio station. Y'all know what aunties is. But for folks who are listening to us on other platforms and watching us, you're probably saying, what does he mean by aunties? What is that? So when we say aunties, those are usually like the grown black women. Aunties, maybe age ranging from mid 50s and up, right? Some aunties will not do. Angela Bassett is an auntie. I don't picture Angela Bassett going to space. Oprah is an auntie. Gayle is an auntie. Jennifer Lewis is an auntie. All right. Nobody, they bring off that like, oh, I ain't going up in space. Child, I'm grown. I don't want to do that. No, I don't mess with no heights. Aunties don't mess with heights. They don't mess with exotic foods. They don't mess with animals. They don't mess with nothing reckless or daredevilish, right? Space. So when Gayle announced, we were like, whoa, Gayle is bold out here. Gayle living her best, like making that money with CBS and stuff. Like, what in the world? But Gayle was one of them. Katy Perry seems like a wild buck. Like I can see her like, what? I'm going to space, yeah. Jeff Bezos' fiance Lauren Sanchez, again, another adventurous. Plus, I'm like, hey, it's your soon-to-be husband's company. Of course, you're gonna sign up for it. And I'm not too familiar with the other. Well, one of the ladies was an ex-national engineer, so obviously she was in her comfort zone. But the one, interesting thing about this was the first ever all female crew. I believe activist Amanda Nugent, she was the first, if I'm not mistaken, the first ever Vietnamese female to be in space. Which is a big deal, and congrats to her. Let me see here. But as I mentioned, you would think it would be a wonderful experience that a lot of folks, and it was, celebrities and everybody was there. Oprah was there. I think I saw the Kardashian family that was there. But people that are watching were like, is that it? This whole shebang, 11 minutes, that's all? All they did was shoot them up. Oh, and they're in space. It's almost like they came up and then came right back down. Now, folks have been sharing on social media like, I don't believe this. Is that all? Like model Emily. Ooh, I'm not gonna put Rata Kowinski, I believe that's her name. She said the space mission this morning. And this was an article I pulled up from a past because the mission had already occurred. She said the space mission this morning. This is beyond parody. I'm disgusted. She said her Olivia Munn, Amy Schumer, Olivia Wilde have also shared their opinion on the 11-minute all-female trip in space. One person said, "What? Like why?" On today, Olivia has said that Amy had mocked the trip, saying, "Guys, last second they added me to space, and I'm going to space." The comedian shared. And then another one had said, "Look at the state of the world and think about how many resources went into putting these women into space. What was the market? What was the marketing there?" Good question. So Gayle King defends her, as well as Katy Perry and others have defends Blue Origin's flight after the backlash, says there was nothing frivolous about the trip in space. So as I read this report by Yahoo News, says here that King she said, space is not an either or, it's a both and. And because you do something in space doesn't mean you're taking anything away from Earth. And what you're doing in space is trying to make things better here on Earth. What Blue Origin wants to do is take the waste here and figure out a way to put it in space to make our planet cleaner. Never knew that. I've always been curious about space. I've never been like too into space things. It's never caught my attention. Well, not just attention, it's never caught my interest. Let me correct that. It's never caught my interest. Rather than it's caught my attention, but it's just never caught my interest. Says here that King, she said she was disappointed and saddened by the backlash. Jeff Bezos has so many ideas, and the people that are working there are really devoted and dedicated to making our planet a better place, she added. There was nothing frivolous about what we did, so I'm very disappointed and very saddened by it. And I also say this: what it's doing to inspire other women and young girls, please don't ignore that. I've had so many women and young girls reach out to me, and men too, by the way, that say, wow, I never thought I could do that, but I see you're doing it. Now, first of all, y'all, I'll just be real. Going to space is not an easy process for anybody. So it's cute to say, oh, you're inspiring me to maybe pursue. Now I can see her saying you're inspiring me to pursue going to space, become an astronaut, yada, yada, yada. But it's not like everybody can just say, well, let me go ahead and get my ticket to space. No. First of all, I think the last time I checked, anybody that would like to go to space, I think it costs like $250,000. It's a $250,000 trip. Ain't nobody got that kind of money. All these folks that went up were privileged people. Okay. They were people of wealth, and that's what it's there for. But I don't disagree with her explaining the whole reason behind Blue Origin and what Bezos is trying to do. I think it's interesting, and like I said, it will catch my interest to read a little more about it. But I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. But yeah, like a lot of folks when it was shared, they were like saying, "Is that it?" I thought they were gonna like stay there for at least longer than that. Y'all gotta remember those two astronauts that were long into the space game. They had long careers, and they were supposed to be up there for like 2 days or 2 weeks, and that crap ended to be almost 9 months in space. Yeah, I think Bezos was like, let me just go ahead and boom, because it's not like he just took up anybody. He took up people that were established folks here. Gayle King got to come back and do the news the next morning. Okay, Katy Perry got to continue to perform and finish touring, do some shows. Lauren Sanchez need to continue to enjoy Jeff Bezos' wealth. I'm joking. Chill, y'all. Take a chill pill. Oh my goodness gracious. So let's see here. So I guess the question I will as I digress from this story, the question I will leave for you all is, how much would it take for you to want to go to space? How much would it take you to want to go to space? Because I'll tell you one thing, like I said, I have no number because I don't want to go to space. I'm not interested in that. But seriously, out of show of hands for those who are listening in this conversation here, would you want to go to space? Do you want to be the next person to go up for a 12 to 10 minute trip? Would you pay big money if you had it to go to space? Just out of curiosity. Look, leave us a comment on our video down below, or you can share, DM me, share it to our social media. I truly appreciate that. Look, we're going to head to another commercial break. Don't go anywhere, my friends. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks. You're tuning in to the Arrington Gavin Show. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin show. I'm your guy, Arrington Gavin. Look, next up on the chopping block club, we're going to talk about Secretary of the Department of Education. First of all, does she still have a job? Because isn't Trump trying to freaking end the Department of Education? Yeah, he is. So why is she like? What is her position in here? What is she here for? What is she doing? So Linda McMahon, who is the, as I mentioned again, education secretary, as well as we all know her as the former founder of World Wrestling Entertainment. She's the wife of Vince McMahon. She recently had was caught up in saying countless stuff. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and pull up the clip for you all, and I'll let you listen to it yourself, and we can talk on the other end.
Or a report that I heard this morning, I wish I could remember the source, but that there is a school system that's going to start making sure that first graders or even pre-K
sorry about
have
that, guys. They have some
A1
technical
teaching
difficulties.
every year
Give me
starting,
1 second.
that far down in the grades. And that's just...
We're going to replay that video for you.
That's a wonderful thing. Kids are sponges. They just absorb everything. And so wasn't all that long ago that we're going to have internet in our schools. Whoop. Now, okay, let's see A1 and how can that be helpful? How
looks like we're having some difficulties with that audio, man.
How
let
can
me
it
go
be
ahead
helpful
and
in absorbing
about that.
more information
So,
for those fast learners?
Let me explain
it can
exactly
be more
what she was saying in that
directed. And those are the kinds of things and innovations that I want to see
right there. So Linda McMahon caught multiple times saying, instead of saying AI, she was saying A1. Now, only A1 I know is what I put on my steak, right? Or even French fries. Tastes pretty good on French fries. But this is, again, the Secretary of Education. Someone that is pushing students to have a better education, to educate people, educate youth. And she's a secretary, and she keeps on saying A1. A1 is it's AI. So let me go ahead and explain this here. So this video had recently circulated the internet of her referring to artificial intelligence, AI, as A1. And it's extreme. It's very true. She didn't say it once; she said it twice. In response to a question about how education and tech entrepreneurs could develop technology for schools shortly before this in the same reply McMahon told about AI development. All right. So it says here that and this is reported by Yahoo News, by the way. If I can, I'm trying to find the actual. She says here in it's about a 16 minute, A1 development. I mean, how can we educate at the speed of light if we don't have the best technology? And she said first graders or even pre-Ks have A1 teaching, and then teaching, every year starting, that far down in grades, and then another. So she said it 3 times. Excuse me. Now, okay, let's do C. Now, okay, let's do C A1, and how can that be helpful? The reason why this went viral, y'all, is because there's folks, and first of all, she's no newbie to the Trump administration. She held a different position in the previous Trump administration. She was a part of the first administration, and she just has a new position this second term. So we're like, okay, you're not new. You're quote unquote, you're a billionaire, you're a successful woman. You have all the answers because that's why you are in this leadership role. But again, you keep on saying, and look, everybody makes mistakes, but ma'am, you said it. You said it more than once. You said it multiple times. A1, A1, A1. It's AI. It's AI. I tell you, man, Trump's administration, you got folks sending out war plans in a text to journalists that journalists are like saying, wait, what? Then you got your VP over here fumbling the dang on the NCAA national title, right? I mean, you have your Secretary of Education saying the wrong term multiple times. Like, this is why people are so over this whole just everything right now. People are nervous when it comes to Trump in his mouth and his strategy, his tactics. The administration, all they do is just praise their fearless leader and this and that and the other. Linda McMahon refuses to answer questions because, again, Trump is trying to put an end to the Department of Education, which means a lot of more layoffs, and then a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? That is the end of funding for schools in inner cities that need that funding, that need that federal funding to stay afloat, to get the proper education, the proper resources, I'm just saying, what in your wildest mind think that the Department of Education is wasteful spending just to put an end? Why? Because it's not his. That's nothing he created. It's nothing that's something the left created. So we got to put an end to anything with the left's stamp on it of approval. No, we got to put an end to it. That's all it is. And it's unfortunate because you know what? When it comes to Department of Education, what community did that benefit? That benefited the inner city low income community that consists mostly of minorities. All right. And that's the unfortunate part because all he's doing is bringing all that money in, to share the wealth with his wealthy billionaire friends like Elon Musk. Because Elon's there to take care of wasteful spending. But how about let's talk about your government contracts, buddy? Let's talk about what about your deals? Is that a part of wasteful spending? Because if you want to dissect everything, you're going to have to dissect your deals as well. Oh, no, not mine, because no, mine are good. Mine are clean. Okay. Give me a break. Give me a break, y'all. Let me move on before I lose my cool and time. Let's see here. So I mentioned earlier about comedian, host of Real Time. Bill Maher has been receiving some backlash from his from some, not really colleagues, but Bill Maher has always been known to be a critic of Donald Trump. Huge critic. And so when it was announced that he was going to be attending a private dinner with the president, which it was the whole contact, the whole meetup was made by a mutual friend of theirs, Kid Rock, which is that's a questionable friend right there, buddy. Kid Rock is out there. Bill Maher has accepted the invitation, and he had shared his invitation on his show Real Time. And after sharing that, I mean, the progressive left, I would say that the progressive left has been going ham, on Bill Maher and just saying why you got caught up in the you got caught up in his plan, and you got caught up in the game. You just like Joe and Mika from MSNBC. You like anybody else, you're just getting caught up in his evil plan and this and that and the other, and you're just you almost like a sellout, basically. That's what they're saying. So let me go ahead and share this. Let me share this soundbite with you all. Let me try and get this sound going if I can. See what the issue is. Let me see if this one's going to come up. Do we see? Oh, is that? There we go. Let's try this right here.
He's much more self-aware than he lets on in public. Look, I get it. It doesn't matter who he is on the world stage. I'm just taking as a positive that this person exists, because everything I've ever not liked about him was, I swear to God, absent, at least on this night with this guy. I never felt I had to walk on eggshells around him. And honestly, I voted for Clinton and Obama, but I would never feel comfortable talking to them the way I was able to talk with Donald Trump. That's just how it went down. Make of it what you will. Me, I feel it's emblematic of why the Democrats are so unpopular these days.
He described the Trump it factor. The way that Trump does.
So that was towards the end. That was the gentleman Lawrence Jones. He's one of the co-hosts of Fox and Friends, the morning show on Fox News. I want to give you my take on this, because Bill Maher has been receiving heat. And look, I'm a Bill Maher fan. I tune into his show pretty often. I tune into his podcast as well. And I'll explain the reason why I'm a fan of Bill Maher is because Bill Maher's always been a guy that never BS's you. He has almost pretty much anybody and everybody on his program, similar like how I do on this show, right? I welcome people from all sides of the aisle, and from all backgrounds and you know, religious beliefs, you know, you name it. And we have a conversation, right? We have a conversation. And I listened to the whole entire monologue that Bill Maher shared on his show. Now, I was listening to a variety of programs, you know, call-in programs, where they were giving their take on, I'm never watching Bill Maher's show again. He's a sellout. He's normalizing Trump and this and the other. What Bill Maher said, and these are just some key things that I remembered. He said, the person that we see on TV is not the person that I encountered during this dinner. There were times where I took jabs, joking him out, hey, I'm a comedian, and he responded by laughing and making his own. And he's like, it was total opposite. Here's the thing. To respond to that, Donald Trump is a showman. Now, to me, if he's putting on this character in front of the TV screens, isn't that a bit dishonest to the American people? So that right there, I'm like, okay, Bill, so you're saying the person that you encountered was different from the person on TV. So I'm like, okay, boom. That's a L for me, because as a sitting president, you shouldn't go on TV to be a showman. You should go on there to be a leader. That's one. I am very aware of when you have folks that bash each other through programs from afar, and then by the time they come together and they have conversation, it's a totally different atmosphere. I've encountered that myself. I've seen countless programs where you see a different demeanor, a different tone when they're in person. The one thing that I do, well, not one, but there's some things that I do disagree with Bill, is the fact that I've never liked the way he over exaggerates the word woke. All right. Woke has been changed up from the right as a bad thing. And again, in my opinion, woke is, I use it differently. I use it as being informed. I don't use it as, oh, you're so woke, you're so forward, you're this and that. Woke includes people that are just over, what's the word I'm looking for? Cancel culture is a part of woke. This is a part, and it's like you're over exaggerating. So that's one of my disagreements that I had with Bill Maher. Also, he had said that he wouldn't have the conversation like he'd had with Trump with folks that he voted for, Clinton or Obama. Well, no, you wouldn't, because it's a different person. You put on a different shield when you were entering into the White House with Trump in office. You still talk about him to this day. You still criticize him to this day. It's a different vibe when you talk to somebody that you really respect than opposed to somebody that you disrespect. Okay, so to say that, yeah, it was a different, and Trump is totally different compared to an Obama and a Clinton. Now, do I think he was wrong for for accepting the invite? No, he has the right to eat whoever he wants to have dinner with. That's fine. If you respect the White House, look, that's a privilege to say, hey, look, I just had dinner with the president. No one can say that. No one can really say that. And on top of that, he's man enough to say, look, I entered the lines and I had dinner with him. Can't say I didn't, because if I didn't, then it will be criticized. No, I did. And I met him face to face. Now, does that make him a friend? Does that make him a supporter? No. So I think people are overreacting by saying, oh, he shouldn't have never did it. No, I wouldn't do that. I would accept. I've told people many times, I would interview anybody. If Trump wanted to have an interview here on this program, I would interview him. But best believe there is not going to be any requirements. Okay, I'm not going to be here to make him look good. No, I will ask questions as a sitting president. It comes with the job, or any elected official, from your school board to all the way up to the presidency. Also, Bill Maher also shared how he could care less of the Democratic Party on criticizing him, which I'm with him on that. I'm with him on that. Again, I don't think it is bad to have a meeting with them. Now, the only reason why it could be looked as a sellout, because they were his biggest critics. At the end of the day, y'all are over. To me, they're over exaggerating, and I'm talking about the progressive left, folks on the left. And look, I'm a person. I have my liberal views. I have my conservative views. That's why I'm in the middle. I'm all about conversation. Now, do I think the conversation with Trump and Bill Maher was Trump being honest? Hell no. I don't believe, and I don't think Bill should assume that, well, the person I had a conversation with was totally different and he said he was going to do that. I hope he's not that naive, because that's what he does. You know, who has Trump ever been loyal to besides him himself? And that's it. Maybe Elon, because Elon is the richest man in the world. Okay. And Vladimir Putin. Those are like the two people he's ever going to be loyal to. That Joe ain't loyal to nobody on his staff, on his team. He's not. So, you know, I commend him for doing it. I think he knew he was going to receive some heat. That's why he did the whole monologue. He kind of changed up his format, because he always does a monologue. He always does a monologue opening his show, and then after that he does like a one-on-one interview with the guest, and then boom, he moves to the table, round table of some sort, and starts talking about world issues. But I don't think that he should be I don't think he should be criticized. He never said he liked the guy. He just said, hey, look, he could be friendly. He was a different person, you know, from the person I see on TV. And that's that. I just, again, I go by to say, if it's a showman that he's putting on TV, I think that's dishonest that he's a totally different person behind closed doors. I think you should, in that kind of position, you need to show your most authentic self as best as you can. I'm trying to see if I can read a little more in context for you. Okay. Trump, Maher praised Trump for being gracious and measured, and for asking his views on political issues. Okay. He quoted saying, I'm just taking as a positive that this person exists, because everything I've ever not liked about him, I was, swear to God, absent at least on this night with this guy. So again, he had a different encounter. Do I think it's silly that folks cancel the guy off of that one encounter? Yes, I think that's a big issue with America. I think the issue is no one's trying to normalize him. The man is a human being. Like I'll say this all the time. I don't know the man to hate him. I hate his strategy. I hate his tactics. I dislike him as a leader. I don't know the guy to say I hate him. What he's doing, though, in my opinion, is very is hatred acts towards minorities, towards towards folks that are not happen to be in his wealth, quote unquote, wealth bracket. And like I said, I don't agree with his politics. I think he's an awful negotiator. Come on, we are talking about the guy that Trump University, the guy that lost a casino. How the hell do you lose a casino? A place that makes money on its own. How does that go bankrupt? And I can go on and on, but I'm looking at my time. I have a little less than 3 minutes. But again, my friends, I think folks are overreacting with the Bill Maher dinner. He has been caught up in saying some wild stuff that it's easy to say, okay, I disagree with what he's doing. I disagree with this strategy that Bill is doing. But at the end of the day, it's a conversation. Literally, his podcast is called Club Random, meaning he brings in random folks that no one ever saw that coming. I will say he's had some controversial interviews, in my opinion. I talked about before. He had what's the gentleman's name? Matt Gaetz on. I would never interview that guy. No, that's somebody I just crossed the line. Martin Taylor Green, nope. I'm not going to interview somebody that won't give me that won't allow me to talk, because there are folks that like to talk on top over people. I don't like that. But anyways, y'all, as always, I hope y'all enjoyed another great conversation here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Again, be sure to continue to tune into the program. Weeknights, Monday through Fridays, available on all digital and streaming platforms, YouTube, Rumble, wherever you listen to your podcast, as well as our radio affiliates, WDJY 99.1 FM in the Metro Atlanta area, as well as WBOK 1230 AM in New Orleans. Please continue to support, continue to follow us on all social media platforms, and be sure to share with a friend and leave us a comment. Anything, look, if there's something that you like, something that you dislike, look, share with us. We hope to continue to give you great conversations, some great stories, great interviews, and just keep y'all having fun, uplifted, entertained, but also informed. I'm your boy Arrington Gavin. I will see you next time for another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm out.